Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Beechcraft D18 project. And today it is time to finish up the cockpit. Now, the previous video we kind of talked about all the stuff I did on the inside of the cockpit. The only exception was I was waiting for the fire extinguisher to arrive, and it was delayed due to a snowstorm, but I finally got it in there. It's a little bit bigger than I was hoping it to be, even though it's scaled 1/10 for a crawler. It's a little large for the Beechcraft, but it still looks okay as long as you're not the poor guy sitting in that seat there. And it adds a little bit more kind of color to the aircraft and a little bit more visually interesting to look at when the canopy is on and you can kind of see it sitting behind that window. So a few more things I wanted to do while I had the canopy apart is I have this stuff here. I started using this for plastic model airplanes for canopies and kind of clear pieces to make them look more realistic. And this is a Tamiya compound here. It is a polishing compound. There's a fine compound and a finishing compound, and you use the blue cap fine compound first, and then you switch over to the white cap, which is the finish, which is a really fine, really kind of thin compound polish. And these two things together can really make the cockpit glass look really transparent and more like real glass than it looks if you just leave it as it comes from the factory. So something I picked up on and for my model airplane days, and I continue to use that, especially on fighter planes, World War II fighter planes with the big bubble canopies on them, like a P-51 or even a Corsair, something that's got a lot of greenhouse to it. It really makes the glass or the plexiglass look more like glass. And so I've gone through, I did that on the inside. You're going to want to make sure that you don't leave any lint or anything behind on that glass, so that when you glue this together, you want to make sure that that surface is nice and clean. Another thing that I do is I can use this Pledge floor wax here. You can do it on the inside and outside, and that adds a little bit extra layer of protection to the surface, as well as really kind of making it look more like glass. It doesn't have the same effect that it does like on a piece of plastic for a model airplane. That you use this compound here from Tamiya with this, and it is like crystal clear canopies. It's like crazy how clear it is. This material here, not quite as crystal clear. It's not as perfectly transparent as you can get from a hard plastic clear surface like a model airplane canopy. But this surface here, of course, needs to stay flexible, and it's a little bit different type of material, so it doesn't have that same optical clarity. But you'll be surprised how using the Tamiya finishing compound with a layer of Pledge over the top of it, you both do it on the inside, and then when I'm done with the entire aircraft, I'll do the same thing to the outside. You'll be impressed. It will really change the quality of the glass and also make it a little bit glossier, make the light reflect off of it a little bit more. So you'll be surprised. It will make a difference to your aircraft. When I get all done with everything here, last step I got to do is really just put the Pledge on here and let that cure. I'll be using foam tack, and I'll be gluing the perimeter of the canopy, basically the same spots the factory did. And then I will set this on top here, get everything situated, clamp it down, and then after that, the canopy in the cockpit area is done. I will not touch the interior of that again, probably forever. The next thing I'll be working on doing then is masking off all the glass, because it's getting really close to time to paint. In fact, you can see the radio antenna up on top here. I've already started with the dark navy blue, starting to kind of cover some of the area that I want to get a good, nice layer on there for when I spray paint over the top of it. I don't end up with the bottom of this antenna or any part around it still being silver. So what I do is I kind of cut that in a little bit with some dark blue. Most of this will be covered with the aerosol spray, but I like to try to get some of those areas done in advance that I know could be difficult to get paint to. you know, trying to get to the back side of underneath this this antenna here, that's a prime area that would be very difficult to try to get to with a spray can. So a little bit of blue paint in advance will really go a long way in making the this whole cockpit area look good, and it makes the finishing of the aircraft that much easier when I have that already cut in. So all right, well, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to take this opportunity to wrap up the last of the cockpit here, which now that I got my fire extinguisher installed and the glass has all been polished, I'm ready to put on the pledge, glue it together, and move on to get one step closer to painting.